Have you ever found yourself snapping at someone you care about and wondered, where in the world did that come from? Or have you found yourself grabbing junk food even though you told yourself, no more, it's not going to happen anymore? Maybe you made a decision in looking back that wasn't the smartest, the most wise, but in the moment, it felt like you didn't even have the ability to stop yourself. Have you ever felt that way? We're going to dive into one reason why that might happen for you and me here in this short Tuesday episode. When things like that happen, we tend to blame them on willpower or on our characteristics, right? I must not be the person that I thought I was, or the person that I should be. But there may be something else at play that perhaps we didn't even think about before. It turns out that lack of sleep can make us more impulsive, but maybe not in the way that you would expect. There's a study that I'm going to tell you about today that it shows that getting less sleep doesn't actually make you take more risks, but it does make it harder for you to stop yourself from acting on impulse. So today I'm going to break it down for you and how you can use this study to your advantage to improve your health, maybe also improve relationships. Here's a study. It was set up this way to find out how short sleep affects impulse control. Researchers designed a study with 34 adults. Most of them were in their 30s, and they tested them under two different sleep conditions. I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to take a look at the study yourself. First of all, there was the short sleep condition. These participants slept only 6 hours a night for 4 nights. Then there was the long sleep condition. That sounds great, right? Participants got 9 hours of sleep per night for 4 nights. And to make sure that this is actually what was happening, that the participants were following the sleep schedule, they wore wrist monitors to track their sleep. After 4 nights, the researchers had them complete different cognitive tests to measure their impulsivity. All right. So the first test that they looked at was what we call the go, no go task. It measures self control by requiring participants to press a button as quickly as possible when they see a go signal, but stop themselves when they see a no go signal. Don't press the button. So making too many mistakes on the no go means that they struggle to control their impulses with that test. All right. Then they did the BART, the balloon analog risk test, which measures risk taking by asking participants with a computerized test to pump up a balloon in order to earn rewards. So basically, the more they pump, the bigger the balloon gets, the greater the reward. But of course, the bigger the balloon gets, the more they risk popping the balloon and losing everything. I know I'd be terrible at this test just any old day, regardless of how much sleep that I got. So people who pumped it up higher were considered to be bigger risk takers. And then the third test was a delay discounting task. Okay. That measures patience and long term thinking by making participants choose between a small reward right now or waiting longer for a larger reward, a better reward. So, preferring immediate rewards in this test reflects higher impulsivity. So, here's what happened. And you might be able to guess already based on those two different sleep conditions, the short sleep and the long sleep. How did things go for both groups? After analyzing the results, the researchers found something really interesting. Short sleep made people worse at controlling their actions. Maybe no surprise there. But it was the go, no go task that participants made more mistakes on when they were supposed to stop themselves from reacting. So they had weaker self control in those impulsive moments after getting the shorter sleep. However, looking at how risky people got, right? That was the balloon test. Shorter sleep deprivation did not move the participants to take riskier actions. Okay. So isn't that interesting? Or in that other test, the delay discounting test, they did not necessarily show a preference for more immediate rewards. So it wasn't that they were more reckless, it was actually the control of impulses that was impacted by less sleep. Of course, then the people who slept longer, more hours, they benefited. They had better impulse control. So, what does this mean for us? Right. And again, I try to slow down and break down that study the best that I can. I'll have the link in the notes for you. What does it mean for us? Of course, the big lesson, right? Short sleep, shorter sleep, sleeping less can make us more likely to act on impulse. What does that help us with? Well, if you find yourself grabbing unhealthy snacks, skipping workouts, snapping at loved ones, it might not be that you're a terrible person. It might be perhaps a sleep problem, right? And something interesting in the study as well, if individuals normally got more sleep, it was having less sleep that tended to impact them even more. So, of course, we need sleep. We're looking for that 7 to 9 hours per night. But if we're used to that and then one day we get less, those are the days that we're more likely, as we're trying to be healthier, those are the times that we're more likely to actually act on impulse. And it's interesting, right? We're not um talking about, you know, oh, the days that I'm getting less sleep, I'm more likely to go out and buy unhealthy food. We're talking about impulse. We're talking about those decisions that are made just right in the moment. So one lesson that I take away from this as well, not just getting enough sleep, but how much of my environment is set up for me to naturally make the healthier choice. You know what I mean by that? So if there's junk food right in front of me on the counter and I haven't slept well, trying not to eat it may be much more difficult on those days following a poor night of sleep. However, if it's not on the counter, it's unlikely that I'm gonna go ahead, even though I didn't get a lot of sleep, and go out of the house and go find some junk food in order to, you know, um, satisfy my impulse. These are the decisions made in the moment. So, one big takeaway that I have from this study is to take a look at how well our environment is set up in order for the healthy choice to be the default choice. If that is the case, even in cases where we didn't get a lot of sleep, it's very unlikely that we're going to go ahead and make a bunch of bad decisions and negatively impact our health, right? But it also teaches me the nights I didn't get good sleep, try to slow down, try to be more careful. Maybe try to have a slower start to the day, a little bit more restful approach to the day. And in general, just be aware of the impact that less sleep might have on my decision making that day. In closing, what do I want to do for an action step for you? Two, I think. Let's take a look at our sleep, right? How are we doing in general? And realize if we're not getting enough, right? 7 to 9. And again, the study, it was 6 hours was the target at 4 nights in a row. And it was definitely, there's a noticeable impact on people. If we're not getting enough sleep, let's take a look at it. Research is showing there's nobody out there that's like, hey, I'm just the person who needs less sleep. Not not the case. We need it. Our bodies need it. Our brains need it in order to make good decisions, in order to be healthy. And of course, there's so many other factors other than impulsivity control that sleep is going to benefit us in. So let's give attention to that. And then, secondly, and maybe even more importantly, because there are some nights we don't get enough, right? It just happens, things happen. Take a look at the environment around you. How well set up am I to make healthy choices the default choice? How much have I built into my life healthy decisions? And I know in talking with you, the probably the number one area is food, right? That we talk about so much. If you're in our community, or thanks so much for the comments that you give me, especially with food, right? How well set up is my environment to default toward healthy? So in my house, how accessible are foods that are less healthy? Things that I know aren't really helping me out nutritionally, not helping me be a better person, but maybe they're just there to um, satisfy cravings. Are they right on the counter? Are they right in front of me all the time? Are they in the pantry? Are they not too far away? Are they down, stored somewhere else in the house, maybe in the basement or something like that, where it's like, all right, right? Or are they not even in the house at all? Like I have to go out and find them if I want them. The farther away we keep the temptation, the more likely we are to be successful. We're no longer dealing with the impulsivity, right? Now we have to plan to go out and get things that might be a little less healthy. And if we do that once in a while, hey, okay, right? But if it's right there all the time, all the time, all the time, it's going to be something that we're more likely to reach out for in those moments of less self control or moments of impulsivity, which we now know can come on just from one night or a few nights of poor sleep. Thanks so much for being here with me. Please give attention to those things along with me. We're looking at health. We're looking at how well our environment is set up for healthy to be the default. As we continue to do that, we're going to continue to move in a healthier direction. Thanks for being here with me. Talk with you again soon. Keep taking good care of yourself.